I'm here to tell you that we have some challenges in front of us to clean up some debris so that we can open the doors for private equity groups and others to put money into the company. In my view, and I've shared this with you in some of my posts, that we need about $12 million in total to really take this company to the level of generating the kinds of hundreds of millions of dollars that we have in the potential of the secure environmentalization. And what are we going to spend that $12 million on? We're going to spend about $5 million, in the final stage product programming and testing. We'll set aside $2.5 million for advertising, branding, sales, and marketing. We will sign on with a company called Straightline, which is a branding consultancy company in New York that does work for major clients around the world. A personal relationship that I have with the founder of that company, his name is Michael Watrous. But they will help brand the company and to make sure that we have the strategic message that hits on all cylinders in all the various industries that we market the product line. They're not cheap, but they are very, very solid, and one that can separate, a group that can separate us or help us really separate the message that we have to share regarding our technology. We need about $3.6 million in general working capital. We have bills to pay. We have payroll that's owed to former employees. There are loans that have been given to the company that we need to honor. We have accounts payable that has gone unchecked or unpaid to some extent. But when you think about the debt that this company has, it's not a lot of debt. I mean, that's the good part of it. I mean, the debt that we have with regard to the oil and gas lease is something separate. I mean, I'm going to look at just the immediate debt, the short-term debt. Not a lot, a couple of $1 million, maybe a little bit more. So it's not like there's a tremendous debt load hanging over the company. We need to start generating some revenue to offset the cash that's going out to make payments to these loans and accounts payable, and it appears to me that if we can generate about $125,000 to $150,000 of revenue per month, is that we will be able to neutralize our cash, be able to not go in a deficit at this point. So how do we raise the money? I'd love to raise the $12 million altogether, but at 4 cents a share, or without having a patent that's fully approved on the secure environmentalization, you might not get the evaluation that we want for it. So we're very protective in not trying to dilute the company any more than we need to. And we're at roughly 4 cents today. And if we can get this thing to 8 cents or so, I mean, you've reduced your dilution by 50%. It's a fairly significant jump, not from 4 cents to 8 cents, but from selling half the company to a quarter of the company, perhaps. So we have had and engaged many conversations with private equity groups and other relationships that we've had in the past. I've had many. I come from a healthcare background. I'm not a software guy. I've seen some of the posts that we got a CEO that comes from healthcare. But I know how to fix companies. I've been associated with turnaround situations, companies that were at the doorstep of bankruptcy, and we turned it around and later sold those companies, for several $100 million in value. And it's about do you have a message? Do you have a value proposition? Which we do. It's huge. Of what we're all about. And I'm trying to make some notes down here so I don't forget some of it, but the value proposition is that we have developed a paradigm-shifting, industry-changing computer, internet, and endpoint security software technology that is going to address all parts of any industry. Verticals, we call it verticals, various industries. And our challenge will be do we go after all the verticals, or do we focus on one or two? Is it HIPAA compliance for healthcare, where my background will come in handy? Or is it some other industry? Is it the banking industry? Sarbanes-Oxley, et cetera. So that over the next 30, 45 days, I think we'll pull that all together and just decide how do we first start. And this relationship with Straightline will help clarify the approach that we ought to take so we can maximize our opportunity as quickly as we can. This is a huge opportunity. I know you've seen it before, you've heard it before. And the vision has been there, and I did not create the vision. I'm a hardcore operations, sales and marketing, and later became a big finance guy that has been through the wars. I've made more mistakes than most, but for some reason or another, we were able to put a team together, qualified individuals, put a good board of directors together with experience that can help support the CEO and his management team to drive the business to the next level. And it's really fundamental management. There's nothing hocus pocus or unique about my approach. It is simply the fundamental blocking and tackling that we need to do. And really what stands in the way of our ability to really execute this, thank God we have the technology that's a potential game-changing technology. It is. It's a disruptive technology. And what I mean by disruptive technology is that it will change the infrastructure of how companies secure their data, how they look at their data. And it's analogous to the Polaroid camera at the time. Remember back, most of you are probably not that old to remember the Polaroid, but I am. And then all of a sudden the digital camera came into being. And it just blew out the numbers. It was gargantuan. It changed the way people took pictures. And it was so huge. Same thing with what we have here with the secure environmentalization. It's disruptive. And so we have to be careful how we approach that with that disruptive technology to really maximize our ability to generate the kinds of revenues that are there. And so